there is detail of six paramitas. First is Dhyana Paramita, ideal charity. Okay, so one has to practice the charity as per one's strength, as per one's capacity, and if you practice the charity, then that will be a helpful tool to rise into meditation, to rise into consciousness. And that charity should be practiced with the mind of egolessness, with the mind of name and fame. There should not be any idea of name or fame, and that is called ideal charity. See, and when they are performing these acts of charity, let them not cherish any desire for name or advantage, nor covet any earthly reward, thinking only of the benefits and blessings that are to be mutually shared. Let them aspire for the most excellent, the most perfect wisdom. Okay? So the purpose is I am practicing charity to excel myself. Okay. Now, Lord Buddha further says that it is imperative that an enlightened disciple in the exercise of charity should act independent of phenomena. And why? Because acting without regard to illusive forms of phenomena, he will realize the exercise of charity a merit inestimable and immeasurable. The word inestimable and immeasurable. So if we have any thought of name or fame or covetousness or earthly reward, that means that is limitable, that is measured, that is not unlimited. That means we are confining our charity, ourselves. Okay. So this is called, that was first ideal or paramita. Now the second paramita is ideal behavior. Ideal behavior is we have to be very kind in our behaviors, very empathetic. We should have empathy, should have compassion, should have love towards all the beings, all the sentient beings. And first, keeping ourselves. When we behave with anyone, then we keep ourselves, at that point where we are behaving with one. So we have to keep. So believing that I am behaving with myself. If I am hurting others, that means I am hurting myself. If I am cheating others, that means I am cheating myself. So if we have this consciousness that if I am helping others, I am helping myself. So this consciousness, keeping myself on the position of the other one whom we are behaving with. So that is the cause of ideal behavior. That is the cause of ideal behavior. So see how important is this? Buddha asked Subhuti, hey Subhuti, if a disciple, whether man or woman, were to collect a store of precious gems as great as this universe and was to bestow them on the holy Tathagatas, means if anyone has capacity to fill this universe with the precious gems, and if that person will offer that to me, would that disciple on the strength of his gift lay up a large stock of merit? He asked. Then Subhuti replied, yes, blessed one. He would lay up a very great merit because he is offering you this entire universe filled with the precious gems. Then Buddha replied, Subhuti, if another disciple, after reading even one verse of this scripture and observing it by living a good life, he will lay up a greater merit than the one who merely makes gifts in charity and continues his egoistic life. So he says, if anyone practices this sutra, this teaching.
Hmm.
So that merit is greater than, is larger than the merit who is doing charity in massive, you know, on universal plane. So here the mass is not important. Here the important is our attitude, right? Who merely makes gifts in charity and continues as his egoistic life. And why? Because making gifts may or may not involve an advance along the path that leads to nirvana. But this scripture points the way to the stages of bodhisattvahood and the supreme spiritual enlightenment of the Buddhas. This disciple who sincerely reads this scripture and lives a very virtuous life is laying up merit immeasurable. But there is no such thing. It is only a name. Subhuti says, Buddha says, Subhuti, suppose a man had a body as large as Mount Sumeru. There is a mount, Sumeru. Would he be counted as a great man? Buddha asked Subhuti, if there is a man like great Kali, or even the greater, the taller or the larger like him, larger than him, and like a mountain. So, as per the size of the physique, one is called great man. Subhuti replied, exceedingly great, honored of the worlds, because he has greater stature. Vakratunda Mahakaya. Have you heard this? Vakratunda Mahakaya. Mahakaya means the big body. Obviously, because of the body, he is called great. The Lord Buddha inquired, would his mind and heart be correspondingly great, Subhuti? What is it that makes a man great? Is it the size of his body? Is it his unusual personality? Is it the work he accomplishes? Or is it the wisdom and compassion and selflessness of this behavior? Subhuti, what is behavior? There is no such thing. It is something that mind imagines, just like body and personality. It is only a name. So, in the highest reality, since there is no person, there is no permanent person, so there is no, you know, what do you say, the personality, the behavior. This will come further because this is very difficult, very tough subject. This is a highly profound subject and cannot be understood easily and in the beginning. So first time you are listening, I know, and first time when we listen, then we wonder what this is. Then we get confused, but we should not be confused. Let us have patience. Let us have, you know, uh, our all learnings kept aside because the learnings may come in the way of our understanding. So let us try to understand this with innocent mind, with just a fresh mind, not the mind which is already learned so many things about the enlightenment, about the spirituality, about the other things. No, let us try to understand this with bare mind, with naked mind. Buddha continues, nevertheless, if a good disciple, man or woman, studies this scripture and thoughtfully observes even a verse of it, his merit will be very great. What words can express the merit of a disciple who, living with the strength and kindness, diligently studies and observes it? Such a disciple is attaining powers commensurate with the supreme and most wonderful dharma. Dharma is, the state of mind. Wherever there is the hermitage of such a good disciple, it is the treasure house of this sacred scripture. It is a shrine of the Lord Buddha, and over it will hover uncounted bodhisattvas of highest reverence and honor. This shows that if you practice this kind of pure consciousness, which is not messed, which is not based on any such philosophy, but which is just as pure as the space, as pure as the truth, then uncounted bodhisattvas means seekers, bodhisattva means seekers, uncounted, will hover, over that place. And that is the shrine of Buddha. Shrine. That is the shrine. If you are practicing this consciousness at your home becomes the shrine of the Buddha, the sacred shrine of the Buddha, the sacred place of the Buddha. So the sacred, what we call tirth, tirth is not just Rishikesh or any such place, but the tirth is or the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is
Yeah.
where an enlightened one lives. That becomes the sacred place. So if you can develop this consciousness in you, and wherever you live, that becomes shrine of the Buddha. And over it, and over it will hover uncounted bodhisattvas of highest reverence and honor. So the people who are seeking the reality, who are seeking the enlightenment, who are seeking the true yoga, who are seeking the true meditation, they will come to you. You will not know from where they are coming. They will come to you. And you won't need to do marketing. That universe will divert those people to you because you're following, you are practicing that, the true enlightenment, the true wisdom. Okay. Now, the third paramita. See, why Buddha has explained this all paramitas? Because these paramitas are great tools. We have to practice them diligently, earnestly, sincerely, committedly. And if we practice, then nobody can resist us, nobody can, you know, check us to reach the supreme spiritual enlightenment, supreme spiritual wisdom, supreme yogic state of consciousness. Okay. So the third is ideal patience. There are a lot of people who want to learn meditation. They don't have patience. They want to realize, they want to reach the supreme state of consciousness within an hour. They want to join you, they want to experience everything in one session. And that is not possible. This is a deal of long time, long duration. This is the deal of patience. The word deal is made of ideal. So, ideal deal is when you practice that with sincerity, with commitment, with pure soul, with absolutely like a child, innocent child. An innocent child is very curious about everything. An innocent child wants to learn everything from mom, from papa, from teachers. But when one become garbage of rubbish knowledges, then they won't hear, they won't learn because they believe that I have already so much knowledges. And this is natural in the era of the information technologies, the gadgets, different gadgets. We are bombarded with so many rubbish informations through social media, through channels. We are, you know, filled with these informations, but these are rubbish. We should not hoard them. We should not contain them. Rather, we should purge them. We should release them. We should remove them. And we should make ourselves empty of these rubbish information. What is ideal presence? Ideal presence here, if disciple meet with the ills of the life, if you are a yoga practitioner, and if you meet with the ills of the life, they should not shun them. If they suffer painful experiences, they should not feel afflicted or treated unjustly, but should always rejoice in remembering and contemplating the deep significance of the Dharma. You know, this means if you are given any challenge, any suffering in your life, that is given by the nature to purify your soul, to brighten yourself, to sharpen your mind. So all the challenges are making ourselves brilliant. Okay, and we should accept the challenges with perseverance, with patience. We should not run away from the challenges. Rather, we should try to overcome that. So this is called patience. When we come on the path of yoga or meditation, then we are given so many challenges by the nature, and we should accept them with patience, and we should try to overcome them. And the nature helps us in overcoming challenges. Okay, so that's called ideal presence. Means athak, untiringly. That is called athak. Athak parishram, entirely efforts. Sometimes when we are trying to learn something, then we have to face unpleasant form, unpleasant sound, unpleasant odor, unpleasant taste of the foods, unpleasant touch, or unpleasant discrimination. But we have to, transcend them. So therefore, in the exercise of this paramita, the mind of an the mind of an enlightened disciple ought to be unperturbed by any form of phenomena. Unperturbed, pleasant or unpleasant. Obviously, pleasant things will not perturb you. The pleasant things will not deviate you, will not cause uneasiness, but unpleasant things. So we have to be very patientful with unpleasant forms, unpleasant touches, unpleasant tastes, unpleasant fragrances, unpleasant sounds. What is unpleasant forms? Unpleasant forms are if you come at my center, you can see that there are some things which may not look like beautiful, but you have to ignore them. Sometimes noise of traffic may travel to our center. We have to ignore them. Sometimes unpleasant odor. And sometimes if you are uh, practicing residential training, then we offer the foods, different kinds of foods, which are Ayurvedic foods. And in Ayurvedic foods, there are some juices which are bitter. There are some foods which are not so delicious. So you have to endure the tastes, touches. Maybe sometimes if you are taking the massage or some therapy, then the therapist, you know, touches your body in piercing way, and you have to, bear the pain. If you have some pain in a specific area of the body, and the therapist tries to uh, heal that by pressing, by massaging, and you feel pain in that region, then you have to endure that. And discrimination is sometimes you seem to be that you are being discriminated, because if there are a lot of people in a batch, then a teacher may not seem to be equal to every participant, but uh, some egoistic people, some egoistic students feel hurt. They think that the teacher is not paying attention to me, and the teacher is discriminating. So that is called unpleasant discrimination. So you may see that this is unpleasant. I'm I'm being a victim of discrimination. So we have to ignore all of them, and we have to focus on the goal of learning, the goal of reaching the perfection. Well, so this is called ideal patience. Now, ideal zeal called Virya Paramita. Virya means energy. Virya means force. Virya means strength. Zeal. Okay. The word Veer, have you heard this word? Veer? Hero. The Veer Purush. Look at the Veerji. Punjabi people call Veerji.
Very.
You know? So what is Veerji? Veerji means one who is hero, brave enough, called Veer. In
Very.
Veerta, or the bravery comes out of Virya. Virya means the energy, strength, stamina, the fluid energy in our body, the semen energy in the body. When we preserve the semen, that is endurance, that is strength, our immunity becomes very stronger. So Sutra says, if we have virya, if we have strength, power, then we have zeal, we have energy, we have enthusiasm. Okay. So while practicing the meditation, see, when we practice meditation, then our bodies require a great amount of energy, great amount of strength. Otherwise, our body will feel pain, our body will move so much. But if you are strong enough, then your body will be still. You won't move your body. Okay. So in the practice of good deeds, disciples should never indulge in indolence. Indolence is letharginess, laziness, sloth, and all these things come because of weaknesses. People become lazy because of they are drained of energy. They are tired. So we have to say no to tiredness, no to sloth, in indolence or the laziness. And we have to recall all their great mental and physical sufferings that they have undergone in the past on account of having coveted worldly objects and comforts during former existence, and which did not give the least nourishment to their physical lives. They should therefore, in order to be emancipated in the future from these sufferings, be indefatigably zealous and never let even the thought of indolence arise in their minds, but steadily and persistently, out of deep compassion, endeavor to benefit of all beings. They should dauntlessly, energetically, unintermittently, 6 watches, day and night, pay homage to all Buddhas, make offerings to them, praise them, repent and confess to them, aspire to the most excellent knowledge, and make sincere vows of unselfish services. It is only thereby that they can root out the hindrances and foster the root of merit. Okay. He says further, if a disciple takes pleasure in narrow and exclusive form of doctrine, or is attached to false ideas as to an entity, a being, a living being, a personality, he cannot receive with profit the instruction of this scripture, nor can he find delight in its study. You know, see, the ideas of an entity, a being, a living being, or a personality, all these ideas arise out of the idea of permanence. So when we see that nothing is permanent, so nothing is me, nothing is mine. The changing things are not mine. Okay? Yeah, just a moment. Zeal jealously observes, studies, and widely disseminates the knowledge of this scripture. For such a one, there will be cumulative merit, immeasurable, incomparable, illimitable, inconceivable. What? The merit. What is merit? This brilliance. All such disciples will be endowed with transcendent spiritual wisdom and enlightenment. And they who will practice all these things, nobody can resist him or her, nobody can check his or her way, and he or she would be easily reaching or will be blessed with the transcendent spiritual wisdom and enlightenment.